Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are coming from. Thank you guys so much for being here today. My name is Max. I'm the CEO because Bitcoin, joined by Tucker, our CFO, Will's Outlook, who is going by a different name, Caroline Ellison, American Trader, who is now an analyst at Because Bitcoin, and Jackus should be joining us here very shortly as well. Lots to talk about today, guys. The title of today's stream, forgive me if you hear any background noise. Do you guys hear any background noise? None?
No, you're good.
Some dude outside just decided he was going to start sawing something. So you have to forgive me. But lots to talk about today. The title of today's stream is Can Bitcoin Fill the ETF Scam Wick to 30K? And I guess one thing that maybe we should debate is, was it really even a scam wick, or were we trending upwards towards that area anyways? Because before the wick, I actually took some longs. I actually thought the price looked pretty good. Maybe we got there a little bit quicker than we would have if we didn't get that scam news. But nonetheless, are we going to move up there? How do things look? Oh, I see we got Jackus in here. We're going to add him to the stage. So, Tucker, I see you got some very bright neon lines there. And my question to you is, do you see continuation higher than where we're currently at right now? And do you think it's possible we come back, or maybe we know it's possible, right? Anything is possible. Do you think it's likely, and how likely do you think it is that we come back and actually fill in that wick?
Yeah, I mean, I think, okay, here, I just pulled up this Bybit perps chart because normally I have it on this Binance chart where we got to basically 30K on the dot, right? But on the Bybit perps chart, we got all the way to 30.6. So it's kind of the same discrepancy that we saw here. So we didn't fill this one, right? So I would say we don't have to fill this one. But I mean, at the same time, like, one of these is getting filled. I mean, probably both, honestly, but I would say it's much more likely we go up here before we go down here if we can hold 28K, basically. Like, if we can hold kind of this level right here. Let's make this like white. If we can hold that, then I think we come fill this. But wow, this was 23.5. I thought it was like 24.2. But yeah, I mean, we didn't have to fill this immediately, so we could, if we were to do the same thing and just kind of chop, we could, like, do this, whatever, fill, or fill. I don't know. But yeah, I think they both get tapped eventually. I would lean towards this getting filled first, honestly, just given where we are, especially if we can hold this level. But like I said, we don't have to go get it immediately, right? Like, we didn't do it here. So I don't know. We're definitely in an interesting spot. You've got bonds pretty much, well, they're kind of trying to recover now. S&P trying to recover a little bit. It gapped down pretty big today. IWM, same thing, trying to recover. We got Nvidia gap down like 8% or something. And now it's because there was news with Nvidia, right? It was that the Biden administration does not want us to sell chips to China anymore, I believe was the news. And it gapped down 7% almost. It's back up about 4%. So trying to recover that. But yeah, I don't know. Things aren't looking great in legacy land right now. I think as long as this bear gap keeps getting defended, this is probably going to struggle. As long as this struggles, then crypto's probably going to just hang out, if I had to guess. What's more interesting though is the dollar and the VIX. Wow, wait, there's a Dixie.
DXY wrapped ETH
Let's check the chart.
over.
Oh man, that's funny. Yeah,
Ooh,
I don't know.
a little toppy to me.
Yeah, it definitely looks toppy, but as long as it like if we're above here and it just does this,
Yeah.
it's going to be hard for equities and crypto to move up, I think. Same with the VIX, right? Same with the VIX. Like if we're gonna, it's kind of doing the same thing, right? Like we
I sent
got.
you a VIX fractal this morning, Tucker. You didn't acknowledge it.
No, I didn't acknowledge it. I saw it. It was like the VIX doing this basically, which
Yeah.
could happen. But
I'm gonna show you guys real quick, then I'll give it back to you. I'm gonna pull a Tommy in
yeah,
lieu
pull
of
it
one.
up.
Yeah. All right. I said this could be a VIX fractal that I see going into the end of the year, something like this. And we actually have a bullish end to this year and then early next year. So something like this. Like we don't really get above this region, which by the way, I think is possible that we don't. I think a lot of people are looking for like 25 to 30 on the VIX and for a much deeper pullback in equities. And I mean, this has been pretty aggressive, relative to where we've been. I mean, look, for going all the way back here to June. Somebody's getting a call. We're getting a call. Going all the way back to, I mean, even here, June. I mean, look, we never really got above. I mean, yeah, I guess technically we got to like 18, right? But we really never got into that 20 region until just recently. So this is serious. This is serious business up here, But anyways, I'll give it back to you, Tucker. I'll be polite, and then we can battle all day over who gets to share. Okay.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, it depends. Like, I could see that playing out if he comes out and pauses and is super dovish at the next Fed meeting, and like I think it's in like a week, 2 weeks from now, maybe. But actually, I think it's exactly 2 weeks from tomorrow. But I could see something like that happening. I've seen some other VIX fractals from some guy named Lance Plutonic. I don't even know who he is, but going much higher. But yeah, we're definitely in an interesting spot. We did see Bitcoin miners catch up. Wow, Queen Spark up another 6% today.
You already know it's going to happen.
Look at that, man. Jeez.
BTC bids. You're going to see miners bid. And then what else are we going to see bid? Well, we'll probably see ARC bid. We're going to see some high beta stuff bid.
All right. So let me, okay. You share that first, but I want to talk about Bitcoin and what I could see happening in the short term. MicroStrategy, man. Can you imagine if Michael Saylor's right? Can you imagine? I mean, it was just like onays on
Bitcoin literally saved this company. Look at this.
Yeah, it was a dead company prior to that.
It was such a genius move. If you really think about it, what he did is he basically wagered his company that was slowly becoming a little bit irrelevant. Not to be disrespectful, right? Like it's a hell of a business. It's a bigger business than anything I've ever built or been a part of. But you know what I mean? In the context of publicly traded companies, they really weren't on the forefront of innovation. They were, cash flow positive. It had a great track record, but really, I mean, it was lethargic at best. I don't think there was a lot of big money flowing into it, a lot of eyes on it. And he basically bet his entire company. He made like a 5 or 6 year bet on his entire company, which was slowly becoming irrelevant, that Bitcoin would go on to do something unbelievable over the next half decade.
He made an all or nothing play is what he did.
It's unbelievable. And worst case scenario, he's still a billionaire. He loses his company and he's still personally a billionaire. Best case, he dies the richest man to ever live. It's an unbelievable bet if you really think about it. It seems crazy, but you're not a multi-billionaire, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it literally pumped their company like 900%. That was basically a 10x, right? Like it was $140 up to like 1,300. So I'd say it worked out for him. Obviously, he's had to endure the bear market, but I mean,
he's still up significantly from his floor. So, I mean, enduring the bear market, I don't know if that's really affected him.
What do we think is more bullish, MicroStrategy or Bitcoin?
I would bet Bitcoin. You're talking beta on beta.
Just right here, like this.
I actually think MicroStrategy's chart looks a little bit better. And I've always argued, because I've gone back and forth with people. Actually, I've gone back and forth with Wabi about this a little bit, not too much, but Wabi's super bullish on coin. He's told me. We've talked about it on Spaces. And I said, I'm actually far more bullish on MicroStrategy, because you basically have a spot ETF with a very nice, healthy, consistent year-over-year cash flow attached to Bitcoin. That's like the one component of Bitcoin that it's been missing since the very beginning, is a cash flow. It's got no yield to it. And MicroStrategy basically provides a yield to it. Yes, it's not directly tied to Bitcoin, but they sell a product and they make money. They make a lot of money. So it's a spot ETF with cash flow attached to it, which is very interesting when you start playing around with the numbers.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I would say it probably does look more bullish than Bitcoin.
Well, it pumps harder. Look at the recent pump. The one right off that trend line.
You know what does have a cash flow, Max? ETH.
Yeah. Well, it looks like nobody wants it right now.
So. Nobody wants the ETH cash flow, man. VWAP.
Can we just call ETH its proper name and stop calling it ETH? It's called Sound Money.
No, that's wrong. Yeah.
Ultra Sound Money.
Let me steal this back real quick. I just wanted to talk about this with Bitcoin real quick. In the simplest of terms, guys, I know this was a huge scam wick, and everybody's like, oh, I should just go to zero. I can't believe this wick happened. Like, what a bunch of crap. We're literally just in a range right here. And we broke through a very, very pronounced mid-range. Very, very clean interactions here, going all the way back to the very beginning. Even, this Grayscale SEC scam tweet, all of this, we finally broke through it, had a daily close above. If we can hold up here, we probably go to the range high, guys. We probably do. We're just in a range. The whole thing's a big range since March.
The thing is, Max, and a lot of people are not willing to accept this, is that Bitcoin was sitting at 28K prior to the news. It was sitting at 28K prior to the news. Like, anybody sitting there like, oh, this is scary. It's like, we're back where we started. What are you crying about? We're right back to where we started.
We're above where we started.
Yeah.
Like, we're 500 points above.
There's no reason to say the bid should not be here, because the bid was already here prior to the pump, prior to the news.
Yeah, and we were longing in the Discord, man. We were longing in the Discord right on the weekly open. We were longing altcoins. We hit a really nice Solana long in the Discord. And that had literally nothing to do with the scam tweet. Like, the markets looked healthy beforehand. I was prospecting a green week, as were you, I'm pretty sure, Will.
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about the other week, and I was like, Ethereum just got to hold 1,500. I was like, you hold 1,500, it's going to bounce, and everything bounced all together. The thing is, this Ethereum was the least, to perform, I would say, out of most coins, right? I told you the other week, I'm going into some ultra super stupid high beta stuff, and I remember we brought up one the other week in the stream, and it was high low. You think we can cover that one real quick? Because that one,
I wanted to
annihilated the
Zodiac's comment here real quick. He said, if Bitcoin is so bullish, explain why total market cap is where it was back in February. Is it just alts being sold into Bitcoin? I mean, yeah, I'm not super bullish on total here. I think the total could move up, but I'm really bullish Bitcoin dominance, if anything. I'm not gonna try to explain that I'm overly bullish Ethereum, or I'm kind of bullish Solana just because it's such an obvious trend that whenever the market performs well and pumps, Solana's been leading the entire way. And that might be forecasting what happens next cycle, but you have to be careful with it because it dumps hard too. But I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that this is an overly bullish chart on total crypto market cap. I mean, Bitcoin looks good, but Bitcoin is kind of alone on that. Bitcoin, this is the season of Bitcoin. Go look at all the, historical monthly performances and quarterly performances of Bitcoin. Right now, altcoins should not perform well. Maybe early next year, but not right now.
For me, Max, and this is, I think, a clear indicator, and I think there's so many people are fading it because they feel the need that if they don't fade it, then then essentially their entire investing strategy is cooked, right? And I feel like a lot of people are like, well, this has to happen. This has to come down. We can point out one or two factors in every single market. I could have pointed out tons at the top, telling people, hey, there's a reason for the market to dump here. And there was tons of indications for the market to dump, and it did, right? And when I say at the top, I mean 69, 70K Bitcoin, right? When everybody is telling me there's no way it's ever coming back, you've lost the plot. You're we won't even go to the words that I was called, but a lot of people sit there and memed me. And I was like, dude, the market's just too overbought. I'm like, we're at a double top position. I was like, it rolls back under it. We're dumb. Now we're at a low. And people want to look for more reasons for price to go deeper. The reality is if you just look at the trend, what is called the trend, Tucker, can you pull up Bitcoin real quick? If you look at the trend of Bitcoin, it's in an uptrend. It's in an uptrend. And if you were to draw a line off across all three lows there, Tucker, over on the right side, you're in an uptrend. You're in a swing high. Well, not that one. The one prior to
that. Not that one.
Well, that's where I'm expecting. That's where I'm expecting. No, not there. Just those three. Just those three where you had it, but you don't even have to go all the way back because I'm not going to sit there and try and manipulate the chart.
What, here?
Just no. The three up high. That one. Yes. No. Now move the bottom one all the way up to the low there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I see what
Structurally, you are in an uptrend here. I'm not even going to try and manipulate the chart and say you are here, or there long term. I'm saying as long as you hold this trend to the upside right here, that's higher low structure. That's higher high structure. That's an uptrend structure. You have to play the uptrend until the uptrend's broken, right? You can be short-term bullish, mid-term bullish, long-term bullish, but play the trend as it is. And that chart right there tells me price was going to go up, and it did. And it broke through critical resistance, whether it's the news that pushed it through it, or a war that pushed it through it, or some random event that pushed it through it, or you went and used the bathroom and it pushed it through it. Like something pushed it through it. It got through the resistance. We got to stop looking at news like it's some kind of indicator of why price should come back, and look at these scenarios of price and understand price was already building to this move. And I think this, a lot of people don't want to look at it like that. They want to look at it like, oh, this news or that news or this or that, and that's the reason for that. Price is the reason for everything. You were coming into resistance before the news came out. You were holding against resistance before the news came out. The news came out, pushed price through resistance, and now we're holding above resistance. That is the thing we got to pay attention to more than anything out there. If we fall back below resistance, then we got to come in and be like, all right, we've fallen below resistance. Let's revisit the chart and figure out what's going on here. Are we going to structurally kind of fall over, right? And you can't really say that until our lows get violated again, right? So your higher lows have to be violated. Once you get that higher low violation, now you're kind of like, okay, now we may be trading the other direction. Now we can start playing for short side. So as a trader, this is the way I come into these markets and look at it. Whereas if you're a long-term investor, I look at this whole range, this whole top end range from 25K to 30K as an accumulation range. Some people are looking at it as a distribution range. Good luck. You can't look at it as a distribution range until you end up into the prior range. You got to be in the prior range to call this a distribution range. And we're not there. We're still in the same range between 25 and 30. If you break that 25K and you go below it, then your accumulation range is much lower, right? And now you can readjust your positions. So I'm just coming out and saying it because it's always a consistent discussion of why price should come back, or this is a scam, or that's a scam, and all that stuff. You just pay attention to price. Price will tell you whether it's a scam or not. That's the most important thing for me.
Yeah,
I agree there. Well,
Yeah, a lot of people they have such a hard time breaking away from that mentality to think that news is a reason for price. No, price is a reason for price. News just comes while price is happening.
Okay, no, yesterday was was a straight up scam, bro. Yesterday was not.
But let's call it a scam. Let's call it whatever. I'm just saying, like, do you not think that if big money got trapped in that move, that they're not going to push price back up there, get out?
Yeah, no, I'm sure if that would have happened, then they would. But I mean, it was it was clearly just a failed media organization just getting gig along on Rollbit. It is what it is.
What they did was wrong, and I keep hearing people talk about it was a 10% move. No, it was a 6.99% move. Why was this 6.99% move? Because we were at 28K before we moved. We moved from 28 to 30.
What did we do? Where's the get rid of all this garbage? When was this? Monday. Yeah, we were up here.
Yeah, we were already pressuring the highs.
Yeah, we did this. We ramped and then we pulled back. And we put in this candle, and then the scam happened.
Yeah, the scam happened in that candle. So prior to that, we were already
I mean, this is bullish though. Look at this.
Yeah.
I think this is bullish, man. Yeah, that's pretty hard to argue with. I mean, if you were bearish, you would have wanted to see that, like after this wick, to just like lose that mid and drop. But
yep.
Consolidating above, I mean,
yeah, it's just I think we fill the wick, and then we'll see where we go from there, right? That's kind of the point here. So, I mean, when it comes to price for this, like I'm not at all concerned with Bitcoin. I'm not really.
No, there's one thing I'm really concerned with. There's one thing I'm actually very, very concerned with, which nobody's talked about yet. It's that this video doesn't have enough likes. Okay, guys, we got 33 people watching. We got 16 likes on the video. We can do a heck of a lot better than that, guys. If you are enjoying the stream so far, and thank you guys so much for being here on your Tuesday, October 17th. Well, we debate whether Bitcoin can fill the ETF scam wick to 30K. If you guys could just take one quick moment before we get back to the discussion, and please hit that thumbs up button for us. It does absolute wonders for the channel. The reason we're able to grow as fast as we have been in this bear market is because you guys show up every single day and you support this channel. And the easiest way to support the channel is just by quickly making sure you're signed into your YouTube account and just hitting that thumbs up button for us. Furthermore, maybe you tune in every single day because you see the link on Twitter or in our Discord and you haven't subscribed yet. Consider subscribing as well. We're almost at 2,700 subscribers. The show is like 3.5, 4 months old. It's been going very, very well so far, thanks to you guys. So if you could, please consider liking the video. And if you're ready to take that next step with us, we would love if you would subscribe to the channel as well. Keeps us really motivated to see that subscriber count grow. Every single day we're picking up followers. So it's thanks to you guys again. But Tucker, back to you.
Well, real quick, I just wanted to talk about one thing because Zodiac said I didn't explain total. I did explain total. My thoughts on total are that we're in an accumulation range. If you were to draw a box, can you open total real quick, Tucker?
I'm doing a little massaging right now.
When you're done with your professional masseuse.
Oh man,
because it's the same as Bitcoin. Again, a range between 25 and 30. Right.
Oh dear.
And you've got a range on total between two zones, and that's 1 trillion and 1.2 trillion. That's basically where price has been trapped on total.
Look at this little box. Look at this little box, man. Check out this box. Ooh.
So
look at that.
Total here. Look, I'm gonna do the same thing I did with Bitcoin. Remember that fractal we talked about the other day, Tucker? When it was just you and me? Do the fractal from that left side and flip it up and put it on the right.
Oh yeah. On Bitcoin or total?
Total.
What, this to here?
Yep. And just no, you don't have to do that. You can just like click it, right click it, and mirror it. But that's well, just Control Z, and it'll bring it back.
Wait, you want it like this?
Yeah. No. Just like how it is. That's the way I'm seeing a lot of these markets. They were accumulating down, and then they ran up, they ran sideways, and now they're accumulating up. This is almost think of it as like a big W, right? And yeah, we could dump from it 100%. But the whole
whenever
point
you are ready, I have fucking new look for total if you want to.
Yeah. You could thought your total discussion. Yeah, go for it.
But I don't want to stop you because you've been cooking.
No. Yeah.
Let him cook.
I see this as two ranges, right? So you got your upper range and your lower range, your 25 to 30K range, your 1 trillion to 1.2 trillion range for total. That's an accumulation range. You also got to look at the sideline, and I'm going to throw this out there because nobody's talking about it. All the sideline stable, and a lot of that came off the sideline yesterday, jumped in on the news, and they're sitting there now stuck with their bags, and they're not going to dump them. Because why? Because they're already in. Why sell at a loss? Right? They already bought into the stupidity. Now there's a lot more sideline stable on top of that too that can still come into these markets. Total is kind of irrelevant until stable is dried up. But at least you can look at two ranges, right? And as long as you hold those ranges, you're good. Yeah, but you're in the mid of the upper. So even if that were real, Tucker,
no, check it.
You're still ranging at the upper range.
I know, but
that's illegal, man. Straight to jail for that chart.
Dude, this looked so much like this move. Where am I? It just looked like this. Like we're in here. Right in here.
I know I sound super bullish, guy. Like I think a lot of the audience doesn't really. Well, some of them don't know me. Like, but 2022, I was shorting the market all the way down. I'm not one of those super bulls when I see directionality changing. I will follow the direction of the market. So I shorted this market through the freaking floor through 2022, and I realized the flip around January.
But anyone that has been bearish has been wrong, since the start of the year on the market.
I got your chart up there, Jack. I got your chart up there. Let's let you cook.
Let me cook because this market is fucking bullish, and if you don't see that, you are blindfolded. Because
Chef Jackus.
because okay, I'll go later into the market structure, but like look at this level, right? You surely have a clean range here, but look at this 2-week demand. You deviate below this range, you break the this one into being a breaker, breaker support, and then you have this 2-weekly demand. You test it twice, you hold it, and if we go through the higher time frame structure on the total, you basically have the bull market, right? Then you get the first break of structure, anticipating lower, it goes slower, creates lower highs, lower lows. But now what did we get? We got higher high, and obviously there was this lower time frame moves compared to this one that created another higher high. That's why I said like we are not bearish until we lose this low, guys. Until then, you are wishing to be bearish. You wish the market to be bearish, but it's not. It just broken the structure. It created first higher high, here, created lower low, broken this high, higher high. Anything above here, basically anything above here is still higher high technically on the higher time frames. On this one though, anything above this high is a higher high. This was the impulsive move. As long as we hold it, and we are, in that 2-week demand, it's not. The structure is not bearish. It's the same as with, I remember in 2020, right here, and I'm gonna zoom in a little bit because I made a live teaching back then, and everyone in here was saying that the structure is bearish. It's sure, but the problem with structures is that you have to look at the correct time frames, and here it was bullish structure. We had these moves, we got higher high, and anything in here was a higher high. This is what you need to see. Sure that there are these legs in between. And surely here the structure is bearish, but it's happening inside of this move. So anything in here is a higher low. And that's the same, with Ether right now. It's the same with Total, where anything above this high is a higher low. In here, you get here you get first lower high, you get higher low, you get a higher high, you get a higher low, you get higher high, you get higher low. Just, plain simple structure. So being bearish here is you anticipating the support is going to break. And I've been saying that for BNB. I've been saying, do not get excited until one of these sides gets broken. This can be a deviation or it can be a reaccumulation for BNB. And I was clearly saying we are not full bull. The bull is not confirmed. And I'm stating that once again. And I keep on doing that. And, sometimes people still think like, you're saying this or that, and I'm still saying like full confirmation, guys. Once we break 220 on BNB to the upside, that's full bullish confirmation. Or if we break it lower, that's bearish confirmation. But until then, do not get excited about these extremes until we actually break them. Sure, you can anticipate the breakout. Sure, you can try to front run it. I did myself, and I actually got stopped here, but on a small trade. But until that happens, we cannot fully confirm that on the higher time frames. And the same is with if I jump in on Ether here, we talked about this level. We talked about this level live when we were trading right here on that 1 minute chart. Right here I was saying this needs to hold. What are we doing? We are holding that. But even though obviously Ether looks way worse than BTC right now. I think that will change. But even if we here, important to keep in the weekly look as well, even if we do, and I think this could totally be possible, even if we sweep here, we can easily reclaim, do that fake out of the breakdown. This turns up as a wick maybe, or maybe even a close, and then the next week we just engulf. And what can easily happen, and I think this is most likely going to happen, that this higher time frame triangle plays out. It can happen with this fake out. And what people are doing, they are on H1, H4, and they are scared and so on and missing the bigger picture. So even if we do break out here, definitely. And, once again, just like with Total, until we lose this low, until we lose this support right here, it simply ain't bearish. This was the big move, and this was the impulsive move that broken the structure. Anything here is just like that BTC in 2020, and it can quickly, and I think that's possibly what's going to happen here. I'm anticipating, it's not fully confirmed yet, that I'm stating, hey, BTC needs to break 30K, BNB 220 is now it's 1740 for me to break. But ideally, 1850, of course, I want to see this breaker reclaim, because this is the one that caused that violent capitulation. So this is definitely one to reclaim. Once that happens, sure, then we have full confirmation. BTC above 30K, full confirmation. Here I'm simply anticipating. But like saying that we are bearish here, I just, I suppose it depends on the time frame, of course, because we can sure totally keep going down. But like I'm not gonna anticipate that at higher time frame support. At higher time frame support, you should get you should look for the reversals, because they usually come. And regarding BTC, we discussed this. I will go once again. Let me make them look. Okay.
What Sabrina, or sorry if I butcher your name, Saberstein said is a perfect indication right there. Just keeping technical simple sometimes is the best way, and that's trying to find the higher highs, higher lows, and paying attention to those specifically. But go ahead and continue, Jackus.
Thank you, Will. That was a good input. Yeah, definitely something we also discussed. Another good indication. Like we just reclaimed. We just reclaimed the 200 MA. We just reclaimed the mid range on this candle. And we will go to that. How scam or not scam is it? But matter of fact, we did close above the mid range. We did close above the 200 MAs. And I was still saying that after the longest bear market, you get a flip of the trend. We got that. Then you get a fake out. You tend to get that on the reverse as well. We got a big uptrend. Then the trend was reversing here. This was the small fake out. Quite a bigger, but still fake out. And then you get the full trend reversal. And I think we'll get that with the EMAs here too, where the 50, flips above again. And we continue.
People are calling this a head and shoulders. Can you show them what a head and shoulders looks like? Because I don't think they get it.
Yeah. By the way, quickly, I'll jump into that. Will.
Okay.
Here we got the same. There was a bull market too. We got a reverse, then a small fake out here, and then the trend continued. And I think if we would invert that, that's basically where we are right now. We had a trend flip. We got a fake out on the MAs, and the trend is reversing. I also want to point out how the time aspect here is very important. Here we accumulated at the bottom range. We accumulated for 300 days at the bottom range, then 211 days at the range above. This did not happen in 2018. That's why it was a different cycle. This was way different. But look at what we are doing now. In this range, once again, this is the one range. This was the deviation, obviously. How long are we accumulating? We are accumulating 280 days or something like that. So that's basically nearly the same as we were prior. Then it was 211 days. How much are we here? Sorry, I have a phone call. One sec.
You're good. So another. I'm
back.
Okay.
Yeah, I just had to shut it down. So here we have 213 days currently. So that's exactly the same as the range prior, right? In 2015-16. I'm not saying like this is gonna turn out exactly as 2015-16. I'm merely pointing to to the time concept, to the similarities between these two. Obviously, that doesn't mean the same outcome, but the things are. And once again, until we get break above 30K, it's not the confirmation that we are looking for. But I'm pointing to how quickly things can change, how you should be prepared for it, and what might be here unfolding. And regarding to as you said, that people are calling this head and shoulders. I mean, technically, it could be, but the thing is, it depends where it happens, because it's different if the head and shoulders happen after a raging bull market, and then you get at the top, you're gonna get the head and shoulders. Context always matters. So if you're gonna get a bear market, and then you're gonna get head and shoulders here, it's a support retest, and this is where you want to see that. We got the longest bear market, we had this longest accumulation, now we are getting reaccumulation. And if you are and I'm not saying like it cannot happen, I'm merely pointing to the probabilities game here, and how the bears are running out of steam, and above 30K they can pick it up. Here usually the head and shoulders doesn't happen at the extremes of the bear market. And also what I want to point out is that these ranges, they each reaccumulation range, they tend to get shorter time wise than the full bottom one. So you get a long one at the bottom, then you get a shorter one, then you're gonna get a shorter one, and then the price can start to differ. Obviously, it will depend how we move once we leave this range. And obviously, if we do, but if we do, and once we do, it will depend how we leave it. Do we go here in a straight line, or do we create another range above that we retest later on? All these things matters. Let's not get too much into that, but I want you guys to see the context. I want you to see the context once again, that we are trading at we are trading at the 24% retracement. All these matter. It's not like 2019 where we traded at 62% retracement level here. I've been talking about those, but I think it's important to remind these. Here we were also trading around the 24, and so jumping once again into whether was this a scam pump, was it not? Once again, I think if you look at it, we had a clear uptrend here. We got a breakaway, move up, and so on. And if we just take this candle when the fake news started, what happens after? We get the fake news, lots of sideline people starts to FOMO back in, then realize it's fake news, starts to selling again. What should happen in such scenarios is that the market dumps way lower. We should have broken this level and should have broken the structure here, then maybe come back. That would be different. What we did actually was we retraced to the origin of the move and continued the structure. Imagine it as if it did not happen. Imagine this wick is not there, and we just broken here, and we keep getting the structure well. Now, what is this middle of the range confluent with? We got a nice demand here, and if we do come back, maybe it holds, maybe it doesn't, but it's definitely a support, and it should be treated as such. Confluent with lots of other stuff. I've been talking about the BTC Japanese yen or BTC Euro, how the range here is way cleaner on BTC Euro, and how we are holding here. Back then, I was saying that, and look at it. Look at these reactions. Once again, not a full confirmation until we break these horizontals, because these are more important than downtrends or uptrends or anything. But once we do, and we are getting close to it, then that's your confirmation. Look at Bitcoin Japanese yen, the same thing. If these charts didn't matter, why are they so clean, right? So we had a downtrend, we broken it, had one retest, got second retest. We talked about this live. Now look at it. We are close to breaking that horizontal. If we do not hesitate. This is like breaking 30K, and the other pairs will follow, especially if we are, if gold is rallying super high, then that's a bearish pressure on the dollar index. So I could go on and on, but I just want you guys to see the context, the implications that the chart is showing there.
Yeah, I wanted to kind of point out here, Jack, is too, like, I don't see a head and shoulders on Bitcoin. I see a clear double top, clear double bottom. It's a range for me. Like, I don't know basically where people are getting head and shoulders from specifically, because you got equal highs, equal lows. Like a head and shoulders, a head would be significantly over the shoulder, right? Your head would be deviated way above the shoulder. It's not even close to way above the shoulder. Yeah, it would be something like that. If we saw something like that, I could see a clear head and shoulders at that point, but we do not see that. I'm saying we as in like I do not see that in the chart at all. A clear head and shoulders is a clear head and shoulders. This is not a clear head and shoulders at all. I think if you look at a head and shoulders pattern, Google it. It's not a difficult thing to understand. It's very easy to see what a head and shoulders looks like versus what is happening right now. Right now, we're in accumulation. I mean, if you're bearish, you can call it distribution, whatever you want to call it. We're in a range between two price zones. We'll just put it that way, right? Bullish or bearish, we're in a range between two price zones, and that's 25K and 30K. That's exactly the way I see this. So where do I buy? I buy at the low end of the range. Where do I sell? If I want to sell and I'm super bearish, I sell at the high end of the range. That's all you got to do. If you just trade the chart, it's not difficult. You can make money in here.
Good point. And if I just go on onto the weekly, right? It's clear we swept that level. We did not break above. I mean, I'm not expert on head and shoulders. I mean, I understand the basics. I just look at the overall context anyway. But
I would consider that low there in Ember's head and shoulders in reality, because you came down, you did sweep, you deviated below. That's your head, right? And you don't have a head at all up top. Yep, exactly. That's your head.
Yeah.
That's your inverse head and shoulders right there. You're not going to recapture that in most cases.
That's a very good point, Will, actually.
And if you draw the neck there, that's what you're using as support. You're using the neckline of the inverse head and shoulders as support.
Yep. Exactly. I mean, I just, once again, I've been asking for valid bearish arguments. I did not get any. The only one that, and I admitted that as well, is the Binance and SEC regulation. But once that out of the picture, and I mean, those are relevant ones, but once those are out of the picture, like, what is left, I just don't see it. And I think once we do break this one, it's 500 days, guys. It's 500 days nearly, next week it's 500 days basically of accumulation below 30K. It's that obvious. In hindsight, this can get really obvious.
Here's the thing though, Jack, and I think we should discuss this because I feel like so many people, they grasp for straws. And I think like what we have here, well, where's the new inflow? Where's the new capital? Can you show them all the sidelined stable coin that's sitting there right now?
What do you want me to show?
So USDT, USDC, all that stuff that's just sitting there waiting to take positions.
Well, we talked about this. That's not bullish.
They're just sitting there. What do you mean? They can literally inflow anytime they want.
The fact that they're not in is bearish. They should be in.
Yeah, no, they should be. But what I'm saying is they're waiting.
Like just because there's money in stable does not mean it's bullish.
Wait, I view at these prices, I view sideline money as bearish. Why is it? Sorry, I view it bullish.
No. Why?
The sideline money is bullish because these, if we start moving higher, then all the sideline money will have to start will feel the FOMO and will start piling back in.
Yeah. If we move higher, but it's like that sideline money isn't going to be what moves us higher, right? Like
no, definitely
move higher. Yeah.
Well,
yeah, but then it is what moves us higher.
Yes,
I mean, it's not to get us from here. I agree, but if we start moving higher, or if we get some trigger like that spot BTC approval, then that's like we've seen it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a trigger.
What's gonna get them to FOMO?
What's gonna get them to FOMO is if we start moving higher. It's simple.
Yeah, that's all it's gonna be. You just got to get above certain ranges. You get above 30, I'd say 32, 35K, you're gonna get FOMO.
What's going to get you above there?
It's not what's going to get you above there. Are you accumulating towards that range? And for me, right? That's all I'm looking at. Are we pushing towards that range? Yes, we are.
I mean, all that can get us there is simply the lack of sellers. I mean,
lack of sellers. Exactly.
It can be literally anything. It can just be DXY going down, whatever. Like there can be so many impulses that get us higher. But the thing is, all these sideliners, if we start getting higher, they are FOMOing. This is
they're chasing at that point. And once you start chasing, you're going to push prices in a significant way.
Yes, like this Saberstein. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
All that it takes is accumulation. Look, we got higher highs, higher lows from the low.
Distribution.
Okay,
how is higher highs, higher lows the distribution zone?
It's not higher highs and higher lows. We haven't
he's identified it there in 3 boxes.
No,
that's higher highs, higher lows.
I think what Saberstein
putting it in though. You stopped putting it in once you broke 30K that second time. You haven't put in a higher high. You put in a double bottom.
Have you put in a lower low?
You've literally just formed a range. Is all you've done.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you consider a range, and a range can accumulate or it can distribute. So again, it's just how you.
And we don't know which one it is yet.
But ideally,
we don't know.
Which side of the range are we on right now? Are we on distribution?
We're literally in the middle. We're in the middle.
Yeah. So if we start to move towards 30K. Which side would you be? Would you still be leaning bearish?
I mean, obviously, if we break out of the range to the upside, it was accumulation. sure.
Exactly. All I'm saying is that the closer we get towards the upper range, the more FOMO people are going to feel, and that's what can push price through that zone and push it up higher. It doesn't have to be.
If we break out,
doesn't
like
have to be a catalyst.
if we break those year-to-date highs, then we're gonna absolutely chad.
What
sure.
we've seen, we've seen in these markets though, Tucker, is we've seen a lack of sellers. We've really seen a lack of sellers. Have we seen predatory moves on the upside and downside? Yes. But I think if sellers were going to step in, they had two opportunities there at the low, and they touched the same price and didn't get through it.
Q4 of every pre-halving year. Go look. Look.
September's your month.
September's
over, bro.
No, Q4 of every pre-halving year. Check it out.
Maybe next year Bears will get lucky, right?
There was only one time it didn't happen, and that was when we dumped after the halving, which would be just treacherous, right?
I can see that. Like I'm on board for anything at the end of the day. But for me, we're at equal highs, equal lows. We're in a range. We can call it accumulation distribution. Play the highs, play the lows. I did want to point out one thing.
We are in a I just have to step in. We are in a uptrend. It's a clear market structure uptrend with a pause in here. It's a pause, surely, but we have not made any lower low. I mean, sweep is, by the way, not a lower low, by the way, even if we
I agree. We've just gone.
If this was a break,
Yeah.
So the market structure on the weekly is bullish, and this is a range. This is a pause. This is very common. If you're gonna go back here, sure, this was a chop. It kept creating lower highs, but it also kept creating higher lows. It was a range. Here, for example, you get a high. I mean, higher high, you're gonna get a higher low, but then you get lower high and lower low. But it's in the middle of this impulsive leg. So technically, it's not this is more like a daily time frame. And this is where people misunderstand things. So this was a clear bullish structure. Here, it's also clear bullish structure. It wasn't, and I was saying that the moment we broken, and I was, by the way, saying that right here, this is where I bought the spot, because I was saying this will lead to cascade of things. If we start breaking above here, that leads to cascade where we break above here, which breaks the structure, which happened. Then we use it as a support. And here, up until here, you had just like here, you had the same on the bearish case. Here you had a move, then you had a bounce, you got lower high, then you had a drop lower, you got lower low on the weekly, which, by the way, broken this structure, the overall structure. This is where I said we should be going below this big higher time frame range, because here we broken the structure. But look at this one here. This is also an impulsive like lower, and then you get a lower high, but you get higher low and higher high, but it's in the middle of this move. And even if, once again, it came all the way up here and even swept this level, it's still bearish. And it kept going lower, and we kept creating lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. Like, seriously, if you want to watch higher time frame trend, just watch the weekly and keep it simple. And here, the trend is clearly bullish. Like, this is a non-negotiable fact.
I mean, you've stalled though, right? You've stalled for sure. You stalled at 20
for sure
in that range.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, but 2019, the last time we had a Fed tightening cycle during Bitcoin's existence, this is what happened, right?
What do you mean?
Exclude COVID, doesn't matter. Exclude COVID. Q4 2019. It was not good. We had the pump. Was that the she candle?
Yeah. This was the she candle. G, or whatever is it pronounced.
Yeah.
This was the G candle.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, maybe we just had the fake grayscale approval candle or whatever.
But the difference here, and I've been explaining it, is the difference between this cycle. This cycle was way different, because here we did not create long bottom range. We had no reaccumulation ranges. We had, but on the daily, it was this small. It was just 3 weeks. It's very small. And the market, this was a range. This was a valid one. But then we broken and made an inefficient move here. Then we made an inefficient move here and an inefficient move here. And what did market do? it kept trending lower, but it was inside of this higher time frame move higher. So anything once again in here is the same principle as here on the daily, and what we just discussed is a higher low of this monthly move. And the market did in fact come back and retest this range, but that's a big difference with nowadays and 2015-16, where we had this range, the market breaks above but comes back to retest it. It didn't, what it didn't do is that it didn't continue here and did something like this, and then you would get your 2019-20 where it comes back. This is the COVID.
Real quick though, I got to run, guys.
Oh, go on.
But if I could just share screen really fast. So, and then you can keep on going. I'm only gonna take like 3 minutes real quick. Could you switch it over there, Tucker?
Yeah, I don't see it on the thing.
Sorry, I'm old. It should be on there. You want me to? Or actually,
I see it. I see it.
So this is basically where I was looking for that Head and Shoulders. This right here was on February 2022. Or sorry, 2023. Sorry.
Nice.
Right here, 22nd. And I was like, what happens if this ends up being an IVC? See, now, do you see the difference between a Head and Shoulders or inverse Head and Shoulders and what people are looking at right now? You've got a clear deviation of the low right here. You've got a left shoulder, which accumulated the range. You tapped the same area, tapped it on the dollar, right? The same area. Reversed back in, 19K out. Boom. And I showed this, and nobody wanted to listen. Nobody wanted to listen to this. This was your bottom. This was, and now people want price to break the neck. Where's the neck at? 25K. Where have we not been able to break through? 25K. You got to understand price when you see it. It's very clear. It's very, very clear. These aren't hard predictions to make. Now, granted, they are predictions, right? You could always be wrong on them. Here's the other one too. We keep on talking about money flow. Where's the money? Where's the money? Where's the money? Look at BNB chain. We'll come over here. We keep on talking about how BNB is a scam. 4,600 buys, 2,900 sells. But buy volume is down. Buyers are higher than sellers. That means you don't have sellers. So it doesn't matter if buy volume's down. Why? Because if you look at the gap between buyers or buyer volume and sellers, it equals out. It's a 50-50. It doesn't matter if volume's down. Why? Because there's no sellers. Nobody's selling BNB. That's why. We can look at it however we want. We can call it a scam, whatever you guys want to call it. This is Dex Screener, guys. You guys can use this it's free. It's free. I'm sorry I pay for it. But Dex Screener right here shows clear. This is data. This is not a chart. It is data. You got higher buy volume than you have seller volume. This means that sellers stopped selling BNB for the most part. What do you got? You got you got higher buyers than sellers. You got low buy volume and you got high sell volume. What does this mean? It means people are selling a lot, but there's just not enough sellers to buyers. And so price won't drop. Now, if you get enough size, good.
Just wanted to ask if there is a higher time frame for this, because I'm not sure if I'm seeing it, but
you could bring this
no,
up.
I mean for the volume, because this is pretty interesting. Just if there is for the volume,
yeah,
because
I haven't looked at the volume as far as like I am looking for higher time frame. I think the highest I'll do is 24 hours. But I'll try and see if I can get the API information. If I can get that, I could probably pull the higher time frame.
That would be awesome.
This right here is your indication, right? You got to watch the differential here, because a lot of people get caught up in volume and they don't understand there's a lack of sellers, right? So volume doesn't matter. Why? Because sellers are basically evening out the volume because there's no sellers. So again, this is one of those markets where you have to be really careful. Yeah, I mean, Zodiac, anything can happen. Right? Like we have to understand how this works. Look right here. We keep on talking about there's no money. That's 1.22 billion in 24-hour volume on just BSC alone. Let's go to Ethereum. That's 759 million in just 24-hour volume. Arbitrum, 162 million, 24-hour volume. Polygon, 70 million, 24-hour volume. 62 million, 24-hour volume. This is Base, Coinbase, 31 million. Solana, 30.8 million. Z-Sync, 23 million. Avalanche, 16. I mean, I can go down this all day and show you hundreds of millions of dollars in billions of dollars in volume that are basically flowing through the space, right? We keep on saying, oh, there's no new money flow. I'm showing you money flow, like tons and tons of it. Now, these lower ones obviously don't have a lot. These are much smaller exchanges and stuff like that, or in layer ones, exchanges, so on and so forth. But there is volume coming in, right? There's volume moving into the space. The problem is some of these are much lower than others. And some of these are basically, you could call them ghost chains. There's nobody operating on them. But the higher ones are definitely still gathering volume. And you can see here, there's just so many places in this space that are gathering liquidity. Now, these right here are garbage, obviously, right? The lowest in the range. But these are the ones you want to pay attention to. And BSC still has a lot of it has high volume. Again, they service most of the Asian countries. So it makes sense that they have the highest volume. And then you come to Ethereum. Ethereum has, second highest volume, 759 million. Arbitrum, 162. And this is why I like when people are sitting there fading ARB. It's like, look at ARB's volume and look at Polygon's volume, right?
Wait, Will.
It's 3 times as much. 3 times as much volume.
Are you an exchange defender again right now?
No, this isn't exchange. These are chains. These are literal chains.
You're not talking about BNB?
No, I was talking about BNB from the buy to sell volume to buy to sell positions, right? That I was more or less I wasn't trying to defend BNB, but more or less showing why BNB is not going down because of there is a lack of sellers there. It is showing on the deck screen that there's not as many sellers, but there is a higher sell volume, right? So they're selling a lot, but there's a lack of people doing it, if that makes sense. Whereas on the other end, it's they're buying, kind of not as much, but there's a lot more people doing it. So volume by number of people versus which equals the dollars of volume by number of dollars versus the people.
So shrimp are buying, retail is buying, and whales are selling. Is that what I'm hearing?
I would say dolphins. Dolphins. If you get enough dolphins, bro, they equal a whale. I'm just saying, right?
What about lobsters?
There's probably some shrimps and stuff like that in there too, but I would say dolphins and stuff are gobbling it up, or it's vice versa, or it's I don't know what's well. Actually, I could see here. I'll show you actually which side it is. So if you come in here to volume, and let's say we go to BNB, there's actually an indicator here. I believe on is it on this one or Masari? It might be on Masari. Let's go on Masari. So let's go BNB. Masari actually shows whales and shrimps.
Yeah, Masari's fire.
Yeah, this is the one you want to go to if you're trying to figure out who's who and what's what. So hold on, which one is it? Is it price chart? I think it's price chart. I forget which one it is. One of these.
Todd said, someone calculate the lobster to dolphin ratio.
They do. No, they legit have that info on here. It's stupid. Like you can come through and look and see, whether it's dolphins or whether it's whales or whether it's shrimp. For those you don't know, those indicators, they're basically just kind of like, are there big players buying big portions, or are there small players buying big portions? And you can see, okay, is it retail fighting institutions or companies like Binance, or is it vice versa, right? Is Binance supporting the price? And you could tell by whale positions versus shrimp and dolphin positions. Oh man, do you remember how to get to that, Tucker?
What
for the whale shrimp indicator? I thought I had it on here. Markets. But I can't seem to get to it.
Might be under like research or intel,
or maybe I'm looking at the wrong thing. Hold on, maybe it's on this one.
By the way, a few hours ago on the Discord call, we discussed the dollar rotating dumping. And what did it do right after we ended the call, guys?
Wait, what did it do?
Dollar dumped hard. And it's actually dumped below support.
It's dumping hard, bro.
Yeah.
Right.
And dollar dumping is not where you want to be if you're a bear. You do not want to see that. Oh, here we go. Look. See right here? See whale, shrimp, whale, shrimp, whale. You can see whale bought, shrimp bought, whale dumped, shrimp bought. And then you got your whale. And then these right here, what they call like guppies, right? Guppies are kind of like you're between shrimp and dolphin. So these guys are buying like mediocre size. And then you got these whale cells right here. You could tell and see right here, these are the dolphins I was talking about. So this one right here is a good indicator.
And I legit
Whale.
thought you were just joking with the dolphins. But it's
No,
actually
man.
there.
No. So it goes shrimp, guppy, dolphin, whale. That's your size differences. So and this is why, like, when I look here, let me show you this one. This one's been really interesting. This is one I want to talk about. I gotta run after that, man. I'm so late. So if we come in here and we look at buys here for this one, and this is why I brought this one up. Again, it's kind of crushed there at 30, which I expected. You got a whale buyer, you got a shrimp seller, you got a dolphin seller. You got a whale buyer, you got a dolphin, whale, dolphin. You got a guppy right here. You got a whale seller, whale buyer, dolphin, whale buyer. And then you got a shrimp, guppy buyer, dolphin seller, shrimp, guppy, whale, dolphin. But if you went in here and you went to buy whales have been accumulating the shit out of this coin. I don't know why, but it's something I've been kind of paying attention to with this one. This is why I talked about this one on the show. And I talked about this when we were down here, right? We're down here. And now look at where we're at. But hey, there's no liquidity, right? There's no liquidity coming into this market. That's why this thing went, from 13 cents to 30. So I got to run though, guys, but it was a good talk.
Good talk, bro.
I like to point these things out when we talk about no liquidity, because there's liquidity. There is.
This is an interesting here. I'll take it back real quick. Todd Alquist said, has anyone noticed Dixie's following the Caspa June fractal? Are you talking about just this move that it's made, kind of? Or I don't know.
By the way, you guys simply cannot have gold running higher and the dollar index running higher. It legit cannot happen. Okay? You cannot have Dixie breaking new highs. Sure, you can think they can break the local highs. Possibly there's an intermarket deviation. But you cannot have gold gunning to new all-time highs and the dollar index going high as well. It just doesn't work that way.
Yeah, where do you think gold is going again?
All-time highs. It's absolutely go on with the fractal, but once you are ready, or if you want to hop in my chart before you set it up.
Oh man, he literally it's the source I made it up meme. After all that dodging. After all that. Is Caspa following, or is the dollar following Caspa? Find out on the next episode. No, here we go. I'll just give it to Jackass.
By the way, guys, we need to make a reminder. If you guys enjoy the stream, if you enjoy the discussion, if you find this information valuable, even if you disagree, which is okay, we are here to discuss new data points, new ideas, and then it's up to you how you use them. But if you do find them valuable, consider leaving that sharing it with your friends, and maybe even consider subscribing, because it's a lot of work. We are doing this in the worst times, during the big depression times in the crypto market, and we are trying to help you all be ahead of the crowd here. So if you feel leave that like button. And I think Tucker can say it much better, but
no, you did great. That was it. Yeah, I mean, if you like what you saw, leave a like. We honestly don't enjoy having to ask for you guys to like the video. I think it's kind of dumb, but YouTube requires it, so it is what it is. But I
Yeah.
see Evan Casey has left the chat. That's unfortunate, but yeah,
It does help the algorithm, right? It does help us reach more people, and like the thing is that if you remind people to like it, I mean there are generally people that like the content that they keep watching, but they just simply forget to press that like button, and it really does. Like I've noticed this myself when I watch some video sometimes, and I like enjoy it, but I just forget to press the like button. And when these guys remind it, sometimes I'm like, yeah, man, I forgot. So yeah, consider that, guys. Anyways, jumping into gold, this insane reaction we got. We talked about it. We talked about gold possibly losing this wedge and hitting this support. It reacted right there, and just with a chat candle. I don't want to jump into that much today. Again, why the central bankers' balance sheet and so on. But like this move right here, this flips the structure. What I would love to see though is still breaking this high, these two highs, and going above. In my opinion, it's like full confirmation. But I feel like this weekly close above here already is very, very solid. And if we do, then there's seriously nothing. Like if you break this whole structure here, right, and you break above here, then this is your support, and there is wherever we pull back here, okay, this is your support, and there is nothing stopping us from all-time highs. And if we do come back there, and I've explained many reasons why I think we get there besides TA, you simply won't have 4 times stop and go lower, just like nonsense. So gold is gonna break this all-time high and start the bull run, and that's simply just super bearish for the dollar index and super bullish for commodities, which is super bullish for BTC and all these other implications it has then. Silver, we discussed how once reclaiming this range, it will probably bounce off it, bounce off these lows. It was possible though, it could have come lower here, and it's still possible that it does, there could be still sell-off, do not get shaken out. But once it reclaims here, once silver, and I've been anticipating this before the sell-off, we dropped to this weekly demand. This was the burst, and by the way, same with the market structure here, right? Same what we were discussing on total, on BTC, on Ether, and so on today. This was the impulsive move on the weekly. Weekly is the most important higher time frame, in my opinion. We got higher low, lower high, lower low. You could say bearish structure. Then we get lower high still, compared to this, but higher high compared to this swing. Then you get chop, and you get a break lower, and you can think this is a bearish structure, but it's inside of this move, which is like low, lower high, higher low, higher high. So anything in here is just higher low, and I was anticipating we're gonna possibly see a breakdown to this level and then bounce quickly. And I'm saying here, and I was saying that down here when we were trading here, that if we do come back and reclaim this level on silver, 23.5, and we make this one a breaker, then I dare to say it is just over for the bears. There is simply no hope, and I feel there already isn't really, but this is like full confirmation. And then you get the bigger structure where silver will most likely head to new all-time highs in my anticipation decade of commodities. But there are some stops on the way. There is a clear resistance down here. I think that's gonna provide a decent stop on the price. It won't go there in a straight line, of course, but once we reach there, then you can get a pullback here and create a nice uptrend or something like in that regard. We'll see. But clear reaccumulation after the bottom. And just like with, by the way, BTC bottom, if we think of it, we can think of this as a higher time frame bottoming range that took 2,100 days. Yes. And then this is a reaccumulation just above it with a deviation here into it to retest it. And this one is taking about 1,000 days, and it can take a little bit longer. We'll probably break above, maybe spend some more time here. Cannot exactly say, but once this level is reclaimed, super bullish for commodities, super bearish for the dollar index. This is very important to keep in mind for the higher time frame place. You got anything to that, Tucker?
Yeah, I was gonna say I have a buddy whose uncle is a silver bug, and he thinks silver's going a lot higher than $45. I'll tell you what. He's one of those silver to 1,000 type of guys.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I mean, it's important to not be like insane bull and also insane bear, and understand timings and cycles, because like if you're gonna be like forever Bitcoin bull and just gonna say like Bitcoin is going up forever, it's like saying SPX is gonna go up forever. Yes, it will probably, because if we live in a fiat world and you have inflation, then and the system requires on inflation, then surely you're gonna have up only. But what about if you get a decade-long stagflation? You don't want to spend, you don't want to lose a decade. You want to play to your best. So, yeah, maybe like at some point in like 40 years, or I don't know when. But I think like you should be reasonable and say, even if you are like really bullish on silver, then I think like 100 does make sense, and I think that's a big one. But saying like 1,000, that's in my opinion crazy.
I mean, that's like end of the world type stuff.
Yeah, but that's like guys saying BTC is gonna go to 3K. It's the same, or BTC is gonna go to 1 million, but in 2 years. Like, yes, anything can happen, but what are the odds, right?
Yeah, very small odds. Yeah. I don't know. What else? Anything else you want to look at?
What about ETH BTC?
Yes, always a good one.
Go on.
Let's see. I'll show you what I've got for it. Let's just start here.
What about orange juice?
Oh, OJ1. Okay, I see it. All-time highs. Wait, okay. Here's ETH BTC on the monthly. I mean, it looks a little bad, right? I mean, it's got to be here. I think it's got to be. You got to hold that, in my opinion.
I agree.
Basically, that line. If you don't, I mean, there's a little inefficiency there on the monthly. Not really there. I mean, I'd say you at least sweep this wick if you lose this level, and then if not, or if you do, I mean, the lowest I would want to see it go is like 0.04, really. Maybe not, maybe like 0.042, 0.043, but like if you did break down here, I think it might take a while, but then you'd start doing this, I think. But yeah, I don't know. It's just every the time that you want to rotate from ETH to Bitcoin tends to be January of the pre-halving or the post-halving year, right?
Yeah.
January of the post-halving year is when you want to rotate, and it just rips every time. So Yeah, and then January of the
Wait,
year
wait,
after
you have that in the middle one. You have it wrong. It was January 21. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, that's it then. That's it. Yeah. Jan 21, Jan 17. This is when you want to rotate. It just absolutely rips against Bitcoin. So if that is true, you're gonna want to rotate in Jan of 25. So
this is a definitely good point. Like if you want to play it absolutely safe, great point. But do you see that? Do you see that upside leading into January 21?
yeah, definitely. I mean, this one didn't have too much, but this was like, from the bottom, this was a pretty good move, right? At 143%, and then it pulled back. It pulled back 45%, and then that's when you get in. So, yeah.
And we also got many Ultrons in 2019 and 20. I've been there live, and I mean, I say many, but like there were coins pumping 500% or so. And who wouldn't love that after all this depression?
Yeah. I wonder if it holds true for most altcoins.
Oh, I haven't seen Link BTC for a while.
Yeah, Link BTC doesn't look too bad. Post halving. Do I have January? No. Where's January 21? Yeah, right about there. It's not as clean on Link, but
I mean, it's decent.
Yeah. If you buy alts at the beginning, at the yearly open of the post halving year, boom.
Try the new ones like Phantom, because like Link was the outperformer prior to alt season.
Yeah. Oh my god. What is all this?
Maybe FT and BTC.
Oh yeah, BTC. Yeah, I gotta get rid of all this. Yeah. There we go. Pretty similar. This one didn't really.
As a YouTuber, I've been conditioned to slap that line.
Look at that. January.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow. Does it go? It doesn't go back far enough.
Try AIF maybe, because that one has been here for a while.
Look at this. Even this January.
Yeah.
2 years later. You just want to buy alts in January, huh?
You just want to be in crypto for 1 month, man. That's it.
Yeah.
You work 1 month and then party like a rock star for the end of the year.
Exactly. What
That
about
would be
like
strat? Those are all prior cycle coins. You need to go. Maybe ADA could do. That has been.
Yeah. ADA could do. There's January. So you had to wait a little bit, but where's 17? But that's 18. That's the top. Didn't go back far enough.
Try. Wait. I had it.
Oh no.
1 sec. AIF. Try AIF. Yeah.
What is it?
Aave.
Yeah.
Aave.
Oh no. Aave Bitcoin.
You need to use Binance chart.
Oh, that's Bitstamp.
Yeah.
Okay.
It still doesn't have enough history. Yeah.
Jan of 2021. You kind of already. Yeah, you could say, January 4th, right before it ripped. You would have caught a nice move, 480% against Bitcoin.
It's because some of these alts were outperforming ahead, like they've already started to go. That's what I'm talking about. They started to go up already ahead of halving. Some of these coins, like AVE or Link, and then the other were following. Like Phantom. Those were the new cycle coins, basically. But by the way, AVE or maybe Doge, man. How did we forget Doge?
I don't know, but look, dude, January, the post-halving year, alt season, every time, every single time. Doge, Bitcoin.
Yeah, this one has enough history.
Oh man, January. January. I'm telling you. All right, what else? January is 17. Right there. So Doge didn't really do it. You wanted to buy it in, I guess, February, really, or March even.
Maybe. Do we have January 2013 on Doge?
14.
Ah, shame.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's 14. You would have wanted to buy in Jan 14, though. But I bet you it would have held true. Wait, this is Binance? I bet.
Yeah, Binance is the longest because they have a deal with TradingView.
Oh, let's see.
On the BTC pairs, I think.
Oh, I see. I thought Bitstamp would have one. Not Bitfinex. All right. Well, yeah, anyway, that's the point, fellas. Jan 2025. You want to be loaded up in altcoins. That's what I'm going to do. So, yep.
Okay, see you guys in January.
Yeah, see you guys in January, if not even next year, the year after that. Oh yeah. But yeah, no, I think that's gonna do it for us, fellas. Yeah, we've been going for almost 2 hours now, so we appreciate you guys tuning in. Hit the like, hit the sub, you know the deal. It helps us out. That's all there is to it. Just me and Jackus holding it down for the last few minutes, but we will be on Spaces later today with Wabi. He'll be talking about, I'm sure, something fun and passionate for him. But yeah, we'll be on there later, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow. All right, let me find the button here. All right, we'll see you guys later.